You understand Spanish. You've studied it. You know words, you know grammar, you can follow a conversation. But the moment it's your time to speak, something shuts down. The words disappear. You freeze and you end up saying nothing or switching to English and then spending the rest of the day thinking about what you should have said. This is the most common thing I hear, and it has nothing to do with your level of Spanish. If this is you, I want you to know something first. You're not alone in this, and you're not broken. The people I work with are intelligent, capable professionals. They lead teams, they make decisions, they hold their own in any room, in English. And in Spanish, they go quiet, they shrink, they become someone they don't recognize. That contrast is painful, and it happened to me, so I really understand what it's about, and it's also a very specific clue about what's actually going on. What's happening isn't a language problem, it's an activation problem. Your brain has the Spanish, it's in there, but between knowing something and saying it out loud, there's a moment, a split second, where something intervenes. Fear of making a mistake, fear of sounding stupid, perfectionism that makes you rehearse the whole sentence before you say it. And by the time you've finished rehearsing, the moment has passed. The feeling that in Spanish you don't sound like you, that internal barrier is what's blocking the Spanish from coming out. Not grammar, not vocab, the barrier. And here's the thing that most programs completely miss. Studying more Spanish does not dissolve that barrier. If anything, it makes it worse because the more you know without using, the more pressure you put on yourself to perform. The gap between what you know and what you say gets wider, and the frustration builds. More input, same block. That's the loop most people are stuck in. The only thing that breaks the block is going through it, gradually and safely, with the right support, but through it. That means creating an environment where making mistakes is normal and more than okay, where you are not performing, you are practicing, where the correction doesn't cut the conversation but adjusts you inside it, where you start to build evidence session by session that speaking Spanish is survivable, that the world doesn't end when you use the wrong verb tense, that people don't judge you, they meet you. It also means identifying your specific avoidance patterns because the block doesn't show up the same way for everyone. For some people, it's social situations, dinners, group conversations. For others, it's practical ones, the doctor, the landlord, a phone call. For others, it's the feeling of not being able to show their personality, their humor, their intelligence in Spanish. We work on the exact situation that triggers yours. Not generic exposure, but targeted, gradual, and real one. And this is the second pillar of everything we do. And it's the reason people who have tried everything else finally start to move. For example, Paul, he used to go completely silent at dinners with Spanish speaking friends. He understood almost everything and he had things to say, but nothing came out. And after working directly on that block, not on more grammar, more vocab, but on that block, he now knows how to lead those conversations and he makes everyone laugh. The Spanish was always there, but we just helped him get out of his own way. So if you recognize yourself in this, if you know more Spanish than you use, if something shuts down right before you speak, that's exactly what we're going to talk about on our call. Not what grammar you need to study, not what app you should download, but what's actually happening in that moment before you speak and how we work on it together. See you soon. Te veo pronto.